Welcome in to the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview, proudly presented by Arkansas Tech University, D3 Auto Sales, and by Metcalf Trucking Company. Today we sit down with the head coach of the Mount Ida Lions, Michael White.
All right, I'm here with Mount Ida head coach, Michael White. Coach White, thank you for having me today. I'm glad to be here. So tell me a little bit about your upcoming season and just what the culture is like here at Mount Ida, what you guys do in the offseason and things like that to prepare, and just some things that you're looking forward to.
Okay, we're big in the weight room, big conditioning. We're on 12-month year weight program, and we're a big believer in that. We believe that allows you to play longer, of course, in the playoffs, keeps kids strong. The better in shape you are, the longer you can last in the whole grind. Even if you lose a few in the regular season, you always give yourself a chance. And our kids have really bought into that again, I believe. And as far as the season goes, with the weight room stuff, we've had great leads. This is the second year back on our weight program that I've put in over the years, and we've had big jumps. Not saying we're never going to be the strongest or fastest team on the field, but we have vastly improved in all areas. All of my kids, really jumped up on their maxes, speed-wise as well. With that said, we're going to be coming back in this year. Last year we had one senior and two juniors on our team total. So we graduated one senior. We had 10 returning starters, including our whole offensive line, 10 on both sides of the ball, and have some good ninth graders that have moved up. That actually moved up in the playoffs last year that have some game experience at senior high, which will also help.
You guys move into a new conference this year, and 2A1 has not, the past couple of years been the strongest conference, but now they have Bigelow coming back off a state championship. Conway Christian is senior loaded. I believe Mountainburg is moving in a pretty tough junior high group, and so there's a lot of really strong teams that are in that conference now. And then you guys move in, you guys have a lot of returning production from your season last year, a little bit of a down year last year for what this program expects, but of course the good news is you guys have so much returning that it's going to really be able to build on itself. Tell me about your schedule this year, moving into this conference, and then who you guys are playing in non-conference, and just maybe some games you guys are excited for.
Okay, I'll start with our non-conference. We have Spring Hill. They played for state championship in 8-man last year. We have them week 1. Should be a good test for us. And of course, Jesseville, 3A school, is always, a solid 3A program. They have a bunch of returning starters. That's going to be a really tough game for us, but it'll tell us exactly where we're at early in the season, both of those games. And then we go to Bearden, and, I think they're on the up and up, and that'll also be a good test for us. Then we get into our conference play. Of course, Bigelow, I know they lost a few, but they're going to be very good again. Well-coached team. All these teams in this conference, to me, are very well-coached teams. That makes it tougher on us. Of course, it's more of a spread conference of what we're used to. We're going to have to shore up our secondary, but Bigelow, of course, is the front runner to me in the state, period. And Conway Christian, very well coached, has some good players coming back. Like I said, Mountainburg's has some coming up, and of course Hector's always a tough out. Now we have history with a lot of those teams over the years since I've been coaching, which has been quite a while now. there's some familiarity there with them. But they are, it's going to be a tough conference in a different way than where we were at before.
Tell me a little bit about what the community is like here in Mount Ida. Obviously, you've been here a while, won some state titles. 2016, 2007, this program won state titles. So there's some history in this program.
Yes, sir.
So tell me a little bit about the community and how they embrace this team and this school and everything like that, and just what that looks like every year.
Well, to me, this is one of the greatest places you can coach football. The community support is just absolutely unbelievable, and not just in football, but in everything our student athletes do. Our town is there supporting us, and if we do get to go to Little Rock, there's nobody left here. It's expectations are always high. We know, but they're realistic. Like I said before, we're never going to be the fastest team on the field. We're never going to be the biggest team. We're never, and that's where our weight room and conditioning come in. Hopefully through the year, and mental toughness. But it's very important, when young men go out in the community and they get patted on the back or they get scolded a little bit for how they play. It's still one of those, I say, kind of an old school mentality here. And but expectations are always high, but also realistic. Like last year, as young as we were, I thought getting to the playoffs was, face a big old first round. Just getting there, people understood. But this is a wonderful community to coach in. That's why I'm still here. I'm from here, but it's important to the community. It's important to me to see Mount Ida do great in everything.
Tell me about your offense this year. Obviously, you guys run a somewhat unique style of offense. It's really worked well for you guys over the years since you've been the head coach here, and you've kind of made this program what it is. So tell me a little bit about your offense, what you guys do as far as your scheme, and then some of the guys on your roster that will be contributors on your offense this year.
Okay, we are a true split back veer team. People say it's a dinosaur offense, but a defense has to be very disciplined. To know who's got dive, who's got quarterback, who's got pitch on every play. And if one of those break down on the defense, then they're in trouble. It can be a power offense. It can be an explosive offense. People say we don't throw the ball. Of course, we don't much, but there's been years every pass that we did complete was 19 plus yards average on the end of the year. And it just depends on what we have as far as personnel, on how much we throw, how much we power the ball. I've had different groups that you can do either one out of it. But you have to be very disciplined defensively to stop that. Very, very well, very good technique, and and it usually takes people a little bit during the game. It's hard to simulate in practice for other teams. And we just found that that's what works for us. And going back in history, even back in the 80s, 90s, we were split backs, even back then. So it's kind of a tradition for us to do that. As far as personnel goes, we have our whole offensive line back, starting with Eli McCoy at center, who will be a sophomore. He started 3 games for us at the end of last season. My 2 guards are back, Andy Black, Ty Spear. My 2 tackles are back, Duncan Standards and Brady Rowland. So that's a good start to have your offensive line back, understand the scheme, the pulling, the trapping, what's in front of them, what different looks we get, what we need to get, adjust to during the game. During the game, I talk to my offensive line more than I do anybody about how they're lined up or where they're moving to, or they pinching inside gap, whatever. So those guys have grown up a little bit, and they will all be juniors this year, the whole offensive line. Tight ends, Let me go to quarterback first. We could possibly have a 2-quarterback system. Kane McCullough was our starter last year, ended up breaking his leg during the Murfreesboro game in the third quarter. He is a bigger, quarterback. He's about 6 foot, 215. And, he runs downhill. We ran a lot of fouls and stuff with him, and he can throw the ball very well. The other one that came in, Dakota Beachy, did an excellent job for us. He had over 150 yards at Bigelow in the first round of the playoffs rushing. As far as reading the veer and all that, he did an excellent job stepping in. And so we could have a 2-quarterback system, which I'm not a big fan of, but with what we have, we like to put Dakota Beachy back out there at slot receiver some, get him the ball in space with the kind of athlete he is. Kane could also play some tight end for us. And with that big body, and he does block well. So we have some options as far as that goes. As far as running backs, Ben Woodfield's our returning leading rusher, right at 1,000 yards last year as a junior. Very explosive, very tough. He's our prototype Mount Ida running back. He'll stick his nose in there, get those extra yards, quick to the hole, and not afraid of contact. The other one, we got Poe Weston coming back, as well as Caston Fimbonza. It's a hard name to say, but he was our junior high quarter running back. Great vision. Both those guys, we can run 3 back there. Chris Durrell, another sophomore, be a sophomore, also a good running back. So, we got some depth in the backfield. As far as the line, we have some kids, Gunnar Ray, step in at guard, and so we have some depth. Last year when we got our injury, we had 13 players and then 3 exchange students. That was our team, and we had to just move everybody around. This year we actually have some good depth on offense. I've got another young man that has not ever played, Landon Gadberry, who's stepping there for us, play wide receiver. He's not played, but he's a good athlete. Will be a senior. We're glad to have him out. Tyler Mosier also played tight end. He can step out there and play wide receiver for us. And he's a pretty versatile athlete as well. Has good speed, good length. So that's the main guys that will be in there on offense.
Defensively, you guys, you guys have kind of, with that unique offense, you guys could score 14 points or 7 points and win the game, or you guys could score 52 points like you did against Conway Christian in the playoffs a couple years ago. I was at that game, and win the game because it's just you guys are just running it that efficiently. So defensively, tell me about kind of what the offense sets up for the defense,
Right.
and just tell me about your scheme. Obviously, you mentioned a lot of your players are probably playing both ways.
Yes, sir.
So tell me about your defense this upcoming season and what your expectation is for that group.
Okay. That's the number one place we have to get better. I say that, let me go back and say this. We could drive the ball most everybody we play, but we would always self-implode at some point on our drives. Couldn't finish drives last year. Hopefully that was for being young, hopefully. I don't use that as an excuse. But with that offense, it really does help your defense. We can have 10-minute drives. We had a War Memorial Stadium against Bearden 07. We had over a 10-minute drive to start the game and scored. And it gives the opponent limited possessions, of course. That's a big goal. Or, like I say, if you can't stop it, it's going to be very explosive. But we can grind the clock out. And we can slow the game down. Limited plays for the offense, help the defense, of course. We base out of a 4-4. Of course, we get 5 from. We're kind of multiple on offense, which you have to be, but we have to absolutely improve defensively to be effective in the conference and then on the state level, especially defending the pass. Also, pass rush, to me, that's defending the pass as well. We have to do a much better job putting pressure on the quarterback, and that's something we're really going to focus on this summer practice we have coming up. Anchoring our defense, our two defensive tackles are back, of course. Duncan Standridge and Brady Rowland at defensive tackle. Both those guys, 260, 250, 260. And they move very well for their size, especially young like that. Good strength, like I said, good speed, and we need them. That's where it all starts, right there. Defensive ends, Ty Spear, a little undersized for defensive end. He's not your prototypical. He's 165 pounds, but he provides speed on the outside for us. He's been to some camps and has done very well. He did very well at the OBU camp this year on pass rushing and getting off blocks. Also have Kane McCullough coming back at defensive end. Like I said, big body, very intelligent on the football, very intelligent student. Expect big things from him this year. He's also played inside linebacker for us before because he can read and see things on the field, line us up right, stuff like that. And his brother, Eli McCullough, be a 10th grader, he provides depth at any of those positions. So we do have some depth. Have another young man that has not played, that's going to play this year, senior, Dalton Stovall. He's 6'1", about 295, so he's going to give us a little more size up front as well. He'll rotate in on that. As far as linebackers go, we have some options this year, which is good compared to last year, of course. Bo Weston returns as an inside linebacker. Caston Fimbonga will be a sophomore. He was an inside linebacker in junior high last year. Excellent job getting to the ball. Good knack to find the football. Ben Woodfield will probably move to an outside linebacker position. Chris Terrell can play any of those as well as Gunnar Ray. So we have depth at the linebacker position. Secondary, we return all four guys there. Hayden Mosier at corner, 6'1", 170, long. Like I said earlier, has some speed. So we're looking for big things from him. Andy Black returns at the other corner, and he very physical corner. He's our guy that'll come up and hit you. He's a very physical corner. Safeties, we return Dean Johnson, who will be one of our seniors that returns. Dean, and also offensively, Dean Johnson gives us speed at slot back or receiver. But we're expecting big things from Dean. Good cover guy, good work ethic here every day, good student, and so we're expecting him to really have a good season. Dakota Beachy as well, and Dakota was a safety last year, led us in tackles, which is not a good thing, but nonetheless he likes to come up, and he's a good cover guy, but also can come up, so he'll be our roll down safety, roll down the linebacker for us.
So in your time coaching here, you guys have made a lot of really deep playoff runs. Last year you guys had the misfortune of being matched up with probably the best team that Bigelow has ever had in the first round of the playoffs. And then the year before, a heartbreaking loss against Carlisle.
Yes.
So tell me what this team will have to do in the offseason or even as the season goes along that you've seen in your other championship winning teams to get to Little Rock or make a deep playoff run.
Okay, I'm going to go back to last year first. Last year we said we knew it was going to be tough. I mean, you can't sugarcoat that. It was going to be tough. We have to get better every week. And we did towards the end of the season, won a couple games in the conference, got us in the playoffs, and Bigelow took care of us. But we have to I don't sugarcoat things very well. We have to have a little more buy-in, absolute buy-in is what I call it, with our players. Getting through, not just survive practice. And I know going from junior high to senior high is a big jump for most players, most all players. We have to, and we condition a lot. It's tough on them, but in the end, they have to buy in and understand why we're doing it. You tell them, but dedicate and buy in. And if they do that, they have, enough talent to be up there in the conference and, hopefully, make a run in the state. We can't wait. I have 2 seniors this year that have ever played football. The other 2 have never played. So we're still young, but that excuse has to be over with. We've got to go out. We can't be looking forward to next year when we're all 3-year starters. And I've told them this. We have to do it right this year and make a run at it. See where we can get to. We want to get, I want to get to the Little Rock, of course. That's my goal every year. Our kids, that's their goal every year. So, there's sacrifices that you have to have from each player to make a run like that, and that's where we have to get to.
Last question for you, Coach. What would you consider a successful season for your team this year?
Well, conference championship, number 1. I think we need to go out and we need to be. We need to play lights out against good opponents. Not, they're better than us. We need to go out there, and we all have to have the mentality that we're going to put the work in, and we're going to win every down, every snap of every game. I don't care who we're playing. Especially against those good teams, we have to, lay it on the line and play better than we probably actually are. We have to overachieve is what we say here in Mount Ida. But to me, if they do that, I think there is a outside chance that we could, play for a conference championship, and that's our goal. And then make a run in the playoffs and see when you get in the playoffs, you never know what might happen. And we want to be a higher seed than what we were last year going in the playoffs. And you want to see where we're at the end of the year.
All right, this has been an interview with Coach Michael White, here, the head football coach at Mount Ida. Coach White, is there anything that you want to say about your team or your program before we sign off here?
No, I don't think so, but I do appreciate you coming out and doing this interview and our whole program, our community. I appreciate it.
All right, I'm Carson Ward for Arkansas Sports Network. You can find Arkansas Sports Network on Facebook and YouTube.
Thanks again for joining us on the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Arkansas Sports Network on YouTube to catch more previews and all the latest updates on your favorite teams.